Hey, it's Radiance, and welcome back to my channel. So this is a continuation of my previous video on divine flow. You know, when I was speaking about it, it's afterwards, it still was on my heart, it still was on my spirit. And, you know, I pretty much summed up that video by talking about divine flow in relation to this quote, and I'll read the quote again. It was by Marianne Williamson from A Course in Miracles, and it said, "Nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists," right? So when you think about that, nothing real can be threatened. So if you're in the middle of a situation and you feel doubt, be it a relationship, your marriage, your business, your family, your travels, whatever it is that you're doing, if it's not for you, it can't happen, right? So nothing real can be threatened. If it's not for you, it's not going to take place. If it's for you, it's going to take place, be it good or bad, right? But I'm here to tell you that even if it's nothing real for you, it doesn't really exist. And so I'm going to say this to you. One would say, well, then what do you mean if it's for me that, you know, good or bad? Let's say it's bad or negative, right? And your response is, well, are you saying I deserve it? I'm not saying you deserve it. What I'm saying is that when we go through negative things, we call them bad things, things we don't like, things that are uncomfortable, there's always a reason. And a lot of the times, the reason why we're experiencing that is because of what we put out before. We're experiencing that because we've made certain choices that have led us to there, right? It's like not paying your taxes or not paying your bills. If you don't pay your bills, you're going to get late notices, you're going to get late fees sometimes, you may get a shut-off notice, right? If you don't pay for a car that you're leasing or that you're financing, guess what's going to happen? They're going to come and repossess that car if you haven't paid for a while. And you can sit there all you want to and go, you know, oh my goodness, why are they doing this? Why are they after me? Well, if you do not pay those bills or pay for that car, because when you took possession of that car, for example, right, or you use that service, that is a contract, even if you verbally said it. But 9 times out of 10, you signed a contract or come into an agreement where you agreed to pay for said purchase, said service, right? The car. You've agreed to pay for that car for a certain period of time. And if you don't basically fulfill that contract or agreement, they will take those for you. They'll take that car from you. They'll shut off that service and you no longer have access to it. So there's always a reason. So I'm giving that as an example of the things that you did or didn't do are bringing that negative, you know, reality to you or experience. And then you are ultimately responsible. So no, you don't deserve those negative things, but really take a look at those things and why they're happening, right? Why they're happening. I'm not here to tell you that if somebody has a health scare or a health issue, that they deserve to be sick or deserve to be, you know, on their way out. But the truth is, maybe they've done some things or not done some things, like take care of their health, they've gotten to the place where they are. So search yourself and take that responsibility, because it starts first with the responsibility and realizing that everything does happen for a reason. And a lot of times you're that reason, right? Things you've done. And then you can go from that space and then go from a place of power to then fix, change, and possibly turn that thing around. Right? Sometimes we have these false fears in our mind, all these big gigantic stories of what will happen if I don't make it, what will happen if I don't have the money, what will happen if this person leaves me, what will happen if I fail. We make all these big, humongous stories, and that's not our truth. Nothing unreal exists. It only exists in the mind, right? How many times have you done that? You worried about something, told yourself something that did not exist, right? And oftentimes, the very thing which you fear is not even happening, right? It's not happening. So all these things, to me, is of God or of the divine, of the flow. If you don't learn to surrender to the flow, be okay with it, surrender to the difficult times, then what's going to happen is your difficult times are going to grow and magnify into a difficult life. And what's happening is oftentimes when we're going into these circumstances and these things are happening, what's actually happening is sometimes the Creator, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is actually trying to show you something. It's trying to bring you to another place, a place of healing, a place of elevation, a place of greatness. Baby, the universe is trying to give you more. You're sitting there in that relationship, right? In this relationship that you've been in forever. You've been in for 5, 10 years. And let's say you have a desire to get married. And your partner keeps running around in circles about it. And doesn't seem to be on the same page. Better yet, oh, we're married in our hearts. Someone once told me that a very long time ago in a relationship. And we ended up together. We're actually cool now. But the point is, I was like, what? Because I really wanted to get married at the time. I mean, I was very young, but the point is, they kept making the excuses and dancing around it. And the bottom line is, it turned out that person wasn't for me. Great person, like I said, still a good person in my life, but that person wasn't for me. And for a while, I held on and held on and held on to this relationship. And why'd I do it? You held on to the relationship because, oh, they've been there for me. Oh, they've been loyal. Oh, my favorite. I love them and they love me. It's love, love, love. Is it really love? Or is it lust? Is it really love? Or is it the expectation or the so-called security? Or is it because you believe falsely that just because, you've been for a while is meant to be? I used to have this saying that just because something, has been around in your life for a long time doesn't mean it's meant to be. You know what I mean? It doesn't, the two don't equate. The two don't add up. And so with that being said, sometimes you go through pain in that relationship, right? That you don't want to let go of because God and the universe is trying to show you that, you know what? This hurts. This stinks. This is not for you. Let it go. And guess what? On the other side of that pain and you letting it go is that relationship you want, that you actually deserve and desire. But you can't get that because you're so stuck in where you are. You're so stuck in the pain. You're so stuck in the woe. You're resisting. And what resistance really does is it repels that relationship. It repels the next thing, right? It keeps recreating what you don't want, right? There's a saying, what you resist persists. So what you're resisting, what you're running from, whatever you're fighting, whatever you're saying you don't want, whatever you're saying is so bad and that you don't like, all you're doing by keeping to speak that way is continuing to manifest that and keep bringing it back in. So you know what? Instead, look through that difficult situation and say, you know what, God? You know what, universe? I know I'm going through this right now, but it's just right now. It's just in the moment. It's temporary. Thank you for giving me the strength to get through this. Thank you for giving me a way to get through this. Show me a way for me to get through this, right? And so while you continue to do that, sometimes it's a timing, right? But the thing is, it could be a month, it could be a week, it could be an hour. And guess what? Sometimes the timing depends on you. And I remember back in the day that sometimes it's in God's time. Growing up, I was always told that. It's in God's plan. It's in God's time. It's in God's will. But guess what? I believe we're tied to God. We're tied to the universe. I believe that we are co-creators. So what does that mean? Well, I believe that means that God's timing connects to our word, connects to our beliefs, right? If you speak out of your mouth that you want said thing or you desire said thing, but in your heart you don't believe, then how can God or the universe, how can that connect and manifest if you really don't believe that you're going to have it? If you really don't believe that it shall be? It's contradictory. And so if it's not happening for you, maybe part of the reason is because you are coming against that said thing you say you want, right? So that's where it's important to know that there's a timing and a flow for everything, but sometimes it's not happening, So then change it. Speak those things. Use your mouth and speak those things that you desire. Speak those things that aren't as though it is happening, right? As though it is. When you begin to do that, your timing will change and you start to manifest faster. And you'll be in that continuous divine flow of what is bringing those things, your business, your marriage, your health, right? Your success. It's going to bring those things to you faster when you begin to actually speak in a way that is powerful and speak that thing that isn't as though it is, right? So I want to share that with you. You know, I've been through a lot in life. We all have, right? I believe we all have a story to tell and all have a story to share. But do me a favor. In sharing your story and your struggles, that may help someone. But please, don't share it and get stuck in it, right? Don't share it and keep getting stuck in that story, right? Because what it was is not what it has to be. What it was is not what it is right now. And what it was is not what it's going to be tomorrow or even what it is right now. What it was is taking you higher. What it was is powering you for who you are today. What it was what it was. Okay? So I want to inspire and implore you to be empowered, be inspired, and know that all in divine timing, all in divine flow, you can ultimately grow and manifest, create, and experience and have the life that you love, the life that you deserve. Okay? So, thank you so much for being here, for watching, for showing up. And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up, like it, share a comment, share your thoughts. How are you flowing with the divine, right? Share with me, please. And also share, your victories. Share with me, like, what's happening, what's good in your life right now. What is so good right now, and what are you breaking through? All right? Subscribe to the channel, please, so you can continue to have more videos like this, more inspiration, more encouragement, and also join the free VIP group. The link is in my bio. Click on that and come on over to the community where we share more life, more love, more inspiration, more encouragement, and we continue to remind you of the greatness that you have inside and the greatness that you are. So thank you once again for joining me. Until next time, be well.